the debt servicing issue, it's something that we've always been debating. Some of the information we get, consumers almost divorce themselves from the responsibility. So if I cannot handle the debt, it's somebody else's problem, it's not mine. But it's also important, some of the debt is already fixed debt, that the rates were fixed. So although there was a high affordability for people to access new debt, those that had debt were still comfortable with servicing them. So I think it does talk to what we've always said, we would have expected it to go down and then it goes up. So I think part of it is the mismatch that consumers deal with that. But part of that is also this hype that was created in terms of the amnesty. I'm going to get rid of this debt. So although it's not necessarily a true reflection of what the credit info was supposed to be, that was a lot of the consumers thought, this is now my ticket out of these debt problems. And then given also the affordability guidelines that we're going to say, we're going to look after you to ensure that you do not access debt that you cannot service, although there's a big impact that it's not necessarily the best way to do it. But that's why I had to combine the affordability guidelines and the amnesty, or the credit information amnesty, because if you take away the gradings that the credit providers could do, then you have to bring in the affordability guidelines just as almost as a handbrake, that they can get a better perspective. But credit was still available for some consumers. Again, not everybody is over indebtedness, but I think the issue was always that we had this whole issue about unsecured credit that is so expensive and who got it. And it's not just your lower income guys that got unsecured credit, your high income guys got it all, and for them it was still affordable. So again, what we really need to get doing here is to disaggregate between those who have debt and those who doesn't. Because those that doesn't have are reporting on something that they think is an issue or not an issue, and it's not really an issue for them. So to disaggregate that. In terms of 2014, we're not convinced it's going to go much better, but we do believe that with the discussion of the impact of the improvement in international growth is going to be a higher or a better impact compared to our local problems. So there will be more job creation coming from hopefully the production side and less influences on the income streams of consumers. Again, lots of credit, a lot of consumers doesn't have debt, so the interest rate hike is not an event in their life. For a lot of people it is. For the savers, as I already said, it's good news. That's the one side. Inflation, we saw it can become problematic. We'll have to wait and see what has happened. But given that there would hopefully be more people earning more income as a collective for the country, it will be better, but not necessarily for all consumers in individual pockets.
Look at all those combined, the CPI, e-tolling is not in the CPI, so you won't see it there. You see the interest rates and you're going to see the tax rates. That will definitely have an impact on the consumer. But as I said, we did the numbers, look at the improvement from the export side, that dominates. So for the country it's going to be better, economic growth terms, but yeah, consumer is going to suffer.
But what we do believe, the positives coming from the international growth is going to be better than the negative instrument, looking at it from the household side. There are still households that doesn't have any problems. They are still got a lot of money, they can spend what they want to spend. We just saw the retail sales. Although the consumers were the same people that were over indebted in November, they were the people that got the best retail numbers in December. So there are still a lot of consumers that is not in a bad position, but there are pockets of consumers that are very dire straight that we need to look at. And that's what we're trying to say here. This is the view of the average consumer, and there's not something like an average consumer. We do believe the positives of the economic growth, international growth, is going to benefit as a country more. So there will hopefully be more consumers earning an income or higher levels of income, so that there will be less pressure on their expenditure side.